Hello viewers, I'm your host Sushil Shalod and I welcome you to the YouTube channel. At this channel you have been seeing many functions explained in every video, and every function has got its own application. Knowing the functions in Excel is the first part, and then being able to apply the functions in our relevant work is the second part. So application of various functions with unique data in Excel is what I'm going to explain you in this video, and it is quite obvious that all these functions require the human logic while doing the applications in our database or in our requirements. Unless that is not done in a proper sense, the results will not be what we expect. So let's get on to the Excel workbook here. In this workbook, we have got a database of US single open tennis matches or tournament outputs or results. First column representing the country, second the champion name, and the third represents the year in which it was won. So this has got database from 1968 to year 2020. Now the unique appearance of the country name certainly will be with the count of the country coming only once in this database. So now applying this logic, let's get on to the formula bar and say count if. So I wish to count this value here, and while doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the logic of unique being counted as only one. So range here will be from A2 to A2, and here the first part I'm going to lock with function F4, so that now what it will happen, or when I propagate this function to the subsequent cells, this range will be dynamic in nature, and I'm going to search for the A2 value here in this count. And after I put in the function in the first cell, I'm going to use Control Enter and propagate the values to the subsequent cells. Now in the second column, I'm going to use the if function, and I'm going to apply the logical test as if h2 is equal to 1. That means when the value is unique, I should get the value, it should return me the value of the country, or otherwise it should return me a null cell. Once done, I'm going to propagate this down, and in the next part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out the duplicate cells. So again, I'm going to use the if function with the logic that if the logical value or the count value here is greater than 1, that means it is not unique and a duplicate value, then it should return me the country name here if it is duplicate, or else if it is unique, it should return me a null cell. There it is. There it is. So here I get a null cell because the first value, that is USA, is not duplicate here, and that's why I get the null cell. As soon as I propagate the functions in the subsequent cells, I get a complete database or values of all the unique as well as duplicate cells. Now I'm going to copy this and paste it as values, so that all the functions will get eliminated from here and only the values remain here. So now with this, I'm going to apply filter here, and in this filter I'm going to sort it from smallest to the largest. There it is. As soon as I do that, now you see here with the count 1 here, the unique values appear here on the top, and as the count increases, the number of countries which have or who have got the award multiple times appear. So you see 19 is the largest count, and USA is the country who has won it 19 times, and the last time when it was won certainly was in 2020 by Austria. Well, with this value, now I'm going to use the function here. From this list, I'm going to create a drop down here with data validation list, and I'm going to choose the values of the unique countries. So now I'll get it there with these unique values. Now the country name is very much here, so I can choose the country name here and find out Australia or USA, whichever country I choose from the unique values. Now the next thing what I need to get here is I want to see if at all the country appears here from the country name here, it should return me the year in which it won. So now I'm going to use the value here as Again, function is equal to if the logical test here is if this cell appears to be is equal to, so I'm going to log this cell first of all with function f4 is equal to this cell, then it should return me the year value, or else it can return me a null cell. There it is. So I have done it. Now I'm going to propagate it till the bottom, and there it is. So I see whenever it was USA who was the winner, the value propagates here. If I choose Australia as a second country here, I see it is 1, 2, 3 and 3 more appearances. So you see Australia has won it maximum of 6 times, and here we get all the 6 occurrences when Australia won this tournament. In this way one can choose to have it. Now I'm going to propagate this over here, and now here I want to see the champion's name. So now if I see here, if at all L2 is equal to B2, then what do I need to get is the value of B2. Now this is a mistake here, so now I need to correct it again. Since I have kept it relative, I need to keep it A2 here again, and what I need to rip out or as get as a result is B2 value. There it is. So I'm saying enter, and I'm going to use propagate this value down below here. So now in Australia, Rod Laver was the winner in 1969, Ken Rosewall was in 1970, and so on and so forth. So if I opt to change this country, and now if I choose to take it Austria, there it is. We have seen that Austrian player had won it in 2020, and there it is, the occurrence here. Now let us get on to a very unique application of this. Now it is of our interest to know as to when this country or the country one has, or the player from that country first won this. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use Vlookup. One should know that Vlookup returns the first appearance of a value. So now what do I need to see is lookup value is over there. I'm going to lock it with function f4. What is the range, or where do I find out the value is in this cell? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this database. Again, I'll lock it as function f4. Once done, the next thing is what I need to get here is when was it first won. So when here the logic helps us to find out the first value of that country's appearance in the list in the database, and I need to find out the year when it was won. So now I will say here the lookup or the column index will be from left to right, that is 1, 2, that is column F. So A, B, C, D, the C, D, E columns are hidden. So this turns out to be the value as number 6. A, B, C, D, E, and F. So I'm going to say 6, and I want the exact value, so I'm going to say 0. Enter. There it is. It returns me this value 1968. Now friends, don't get confused. I have hidden the columns here to reduce the database here. If you want, I'll unhide it. So there it is. That was the database. And here you get the country name as USA. Here is the first one, cell value is 1968. So again, if I go over here and choose Austria, there it is. It won first time in 2020. Fine. In this way, one can choose the country and find out how and when it won the first time. Now, total number of wins. It's quite obvious now. Total number of wins is nothing else but the count of number of years here in the data from the database, that is from M2 cell to M54, right? So now I'm going to use here the function count. What does count do? Count returns the value of the numerical values or the numerical cells in a given range. So if I choose to count from M2 up to the last cell in this database, there it is, and say function F4, and I close the parentheses and say enter. So as soon as I do it, it returns me the total win counts. That means the number of occurrences of the year. Now I have used common sense here that all the year numbers are numerical cells and count function will return me the right value. Had it been a text cell and a combination of numerical cell, then I should have used the function count a. So friends, as we know the functions, that is the first part, knowing the functions in Excel. Applying the right function at the right time and reap out the results with the minimum efforts is the second part, and that is the magic and beauty of an intelligent user of Excel. With practice and with more exposure, you should be picking up with this. Now, the next thing what I am interested here in to know, what was the last win of that country. So now as you see, we are seeing the database of USA on our screen. The first time it won was in 1968 and the last time it won was in 2003. Now how do I find out? Very easy. I'm going to use the function large here. So large returns me the value of the largest value in the given database or range, right? So now the array again here is going to be over here. I'm going to choose the array from M2 up to M54. I'm going to lock it with function F4. Now friends, if at all you want to make it a dynamic range, certainly go and view my video on dynamic range. It's always preferable to have dynamic range because in year 2021 there will be next winner and in year 2020 the subsequent winner. So those values or those records will get added to this database, and certainly we need to have a dynamic range here. That is another application of dynamic range. So with this array, I'm going to put in the kth value. Now the kth value will be the last value. If it is represented by 1, the first value is represented by 0. So I want the largest value, which will return me the kth value, that is the largest value, as 1. So I'm going to close the parenthesis and say enter. As soon as I do, I get the last win value as 2003. Let us see if this function or this application of these functions what I explained you works properly by changing the country name. Now FRG stands for Federal Republic of Germany. That was well before the unification of Germany in 1991. So it was only up to 1999 this country existed, and it was represented by Mr. Boris Becker, one of my favorite tennis player, and he won this tournament in 1989. So that was the first one and the last one for this country, and there it is, the total number of wins is 1. So in this way I can choose some other country. There was a very popular player, Ivan Lendl. He represented Czechoslovakia, and Czechoslovakia also existed till 1990s. So Ivan Lendl won this tournament. I can make out the total number of wins were 3. The first time it was in 1985 and the last win was in 1987. There it is on our screen. We see the values of the tournament wins by this country. This way one can go and choose on various countries and get the values. So here it is Sweden. Sweden is a Swedish player, won it first time in 1988. 3 times is the total win, and the last win was in 1992. There was in 1992 by Stefan Edberg. In this way, one can choose and opt to find out the right function at the right place. Now, I intelligently applied the Vlookup here because I knew Vlookup always returns the first value of the find or the search or the lookup. And here our database was segregated from 1968 to 2020. So certainly the first value of appearance of the country, say USA, was in 1968. First value of Australia was in 1969. And so using VLOOKUP was handy here and very much rightly chosen command or the function. Fine. Friends, I have got another database here. Now I will leave it for you to do exercise on this or create a database of your own for your practice, and then apply the functions, various functions which you have learned or which you are progressively learning. Here I have created database. Now creating database also I have used various kind of functions. I use the function Randbetween here, and I have given the value 3001 to 3006, and I have created a database for about, I believe there are 100 values here, and here I use Randbetween. Now Randbetween is a volatile function. In another video I'm going to explain what is a volatile function, but if you see, if I click it here, Certainly, as soon as I say enter or I do something else, there it is. The rand functions changes the value by default over here. Fine. So what I have done, I use the rand function there. I have used multiple if, that is if s function here to define the commodity here. Then the month again I have used rand between, the stock rand between and sales rand between. Then I have chose to select and copy this and paste it as values here in this database, and here is the database ready for us to use various functions. So if you want to practice the functions which I explained you for the applications, you can choose this database and find out or the applications of the functions which I explained. In this way you can create your own dummy database and exercise and practice over it, or you can practice it on your live database where you need to use various functions in Excel. Well, so viewers, I have tried to give you a demo here of various functions, application, and how to make the use of the functions, the right function at the right time for reaping out the results. With progressive functions coming up in the subsequent revisions and versions of Excel, now in Microsoft Office 365, we have got Excel version which has got many functions like sort, unique, and other functions like Xlookup, sequence, and filter. By using those functions, what I explain you here, sorting out the unique and duplicate has become much easier than what I explained. But well, nevertheless, reaping out the results is also important. Maybe at times you may have luxury of using much complex functions and reaping the results in lesser time. At times you will take a longer way, but well, using the right function is what is important. I hope this video has been self-explanatory or explanatory to you. If you like this video, please express your likes at the video, comment, give your comments, those are welcome. If you want any topic to be covered in my videos, please do express it at the comments at the YouTube channel. And if at all you have not subscribed the channel till now, please do subscribe the YouTube channel. I'll be back with the next video soon to be with you. Till then, take care and goodbye.